One thing I'm getting from this Diddy trial is I ain't doing enough with my. You know what I'm saying? This boy Diddy running Ciroc, running Bad Boy Records. He got the Vote channel. He terrorizing women around the clock. Greasing males up. Blowing up cars. Diddy accomplishing all of this stuff in days. I gotta get on it, man. Gotta get on it. Minus the terrorizing women and blowing up cars and doing illegal shit. You feel me? But, man, Diddy is a busybody. Baby. A busy 94-hour freak off. We ain't got the same 24. Can't have it. It's crazy. No excuses.
I know, right? Diddy be doing more in 24 hours than I can do in 24 days. Hey, yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Check this out. First and foremost, let me say that I hope that everybody who can hear my voice right now is really enjoying their 3-day weekend, because you deserve a moment to rest and replenish. And if you didn't have the weekend off, you know what? Much love to you too, because you're putting in that hard work and we appreciate everything you do. And even though this channel usually focuses on celebrities and celebrity stories, we're well aware that it's the everyday men and women like you who really need to be celebrated, because you're the people who actually make this world go round. Screw Kanye West and them. We're celebrating the people who work at places like Safeway and Giant, who come over and fix that self-checkout machine every time we try to check out by ourselves, making it so we really can't check out by ourselves. Anyhow, let's get into it. Today we're going to be taking a closer look at who the prosecution is expected to call up to the stand next week in the Sean P. Diddy Combs trial. According to sources, if there are no last-minute changes to the docket, the prosecutors are going to be questioning P. Diddy's former personal assistant, Capricorn Clark. Capricorn Clark, who some people say is Lauren London's sister, although we haven't seen any birth certificate to prove that, is a seasoned media and branding professional originally from California. She moved to New York City in 2000 and quickly made a name for herself in the world of television and entertainment. Clark worked at companies like Def Jam, Magic Johnson's Enterprises, and BET Films, eventually taking the role of production manager at Crossroads, a company well known for working with major networks like HBO, ABC, and NBC. So, as you can see, Capricorn Clark's resume is no joke, and she's well known in the business. Now, after working at Crossroads, she diddy-bopped her way over there and started working for Diddy as his personal assistant, taking care of his personal business and day-to-day tasks. So after working for Diddy for a little while, she took a brief pause and took another job working as a marketing consultant at Sony BMG, where she worked with artists like Ciara and R. Kelly. But Capricorn Clark didn't stay away from Diddy for long, because then she returned to working for Diddy during the relaunch of his Sean John's women's line. Now, eventually, Capricorn Clark climbed the ranks to become Diddy's global brand director, playing a key role in the shaping of his public image and his brand direction. Clark also worked behind the scenes on productions like Diddy Dirty Money, The Final Days, and I Want to Work for Diddy. So essentially, Capricorn Clark was what Oprah used to want to be for Diddy. She was his right-hand woman. Yo, do y'all remember Oprah? Anyhow, while we don't know what Capricorn Clark is going to get up on that stand and say, we do know that it's not going to be good for Diddy. Why? Because she doesn't rock with the ninja. As a matter of fact, Suge Knight once said that the reason why Capricorn Clark does not mess with Diddy is because one time he drug her out into the street and put the paws on her because he was upset that she didn't reveal the fact that she knew that Cassie was over there dealing with Kid Cudi.
Hip-hop mogul Sean Diddy Combs has been accused of beating and sexually assaulting his ex-girlfriend and singer, Cassie.
I mean, you got to be able to do that type of to a woman and other women, but it's not new. It's not like it's new news. It's same time he beat the shit out of him, and what's a little girl named Cassie or whatever. He had an assistant by the name of Capricorn. He felt Cap was keeping his shit on the low about if she was messing with Cudi or not. Puffy beat the shit out that. Not only did he beat the piss out of her, it was an Interscope person, the Interscope's check that paid her to settle before he wouldn't go to jail.
Okay, so after Suge Knight made that collect call from jail and spilled the tea, Capricorn Clark jumped on Instagram and wrote, "Black women end up being sacrificed for the effery. Last 11 years of my life, I had to deal with everyone's nonsensical allegiance to the devil. I pray that ends. I don't think highly of any of you. Can't keep your head down and pretend ish is cool no more." Then, after alluding to the fact that P. Diddy is the devil, she continued to quote Proverbs 14:14, which says, "Don't take the path of the wicked, don't follow those who do evil. Stay away from that path. Don't even go near it. Turn around and go another way." But she wasn't done, because then she added, "Doors be unlocked. You gotta be willing to walk away from the money. Full stop. 2011 was hell." Now, part of the reason why Capricorn Clark said that 2011 was hellish is because in 2012, just after Diddy allegedly Diddy-bopped her, rumors began circulating that Diddy terminated Capricorn Clark for allegedly stealing from Bad Boy. Now, although nobody ever furnished any proof, the rumor was enough to devastate Capricorn's career, because I don't know if you noticed, but the industry is very small, and when one person's like, "Yo, she stole from me," then nobody else ever wants to work with that person. So the stellar career that Capricorn Clark had built up was teetering on the verge of ruin. As a matter of fact, in a 2012 interview, one industry insider said, "She worked for Bad Boy for so many years, yet now she's unemployed. She can't use the company's name as a reference to get a new job." Capricorn Clark committed the carnal sin over at Bad Boy Records. She was accused of stealing from Bad Boy Records. She's a jealous, lying biatch. She's finished in the music industry. No one's ever gonna cuff her on a professional tip. However, despite this and other reports that she was over there stealing the goods from Bad Boy, people who actually know Capricorn Clark were like, "Yo, this ain't nothing but a setup," because Capricorn Clark is a professional and she would never steal anything from the job. As a matter of fact, after the damage to her career was done, Diddy, who likes to throw rocks and then hide his hand, even said that the allegations couldn't be further from the truth, and that Capricorn was actually a valued employee who was simply moving on to other ventures. Diddy jumped on Twitter and he wrote, "Capricorn Clark at Capadonna, his only given, never taken. She's moving on to bigger and better things. I wish her the best. Love." Now, although Diddy wrote the "sweet, you're fired, but here's a quick reference" tweet, many people behind the scenes have always claimed that Diddy snaked her, lied and said she was stealing from the company to ruin her career, then dropped that tweet to save face when people started to suspect what was really happening behind the scenes. Well, now, years later, the turntables have finally turned, and Capricorn Clark just may be the person who hammers the final nail in Diddy's coffin, because not only can she confirm Cassie's claims that Diddy threatened to blackmail her and her entire family, but Capricorn Clark was allegedly at the scene of the crime when Diddy and one or more of his henchmen allegedly broke into Kid Cudi's house like Diddy was the Grinch who stole Christmas. Remember, on Thursday, Cassie's mom, Regina Ventura, shared an email that she received from Cassie that was CC'd to Capricorn Clark stating that Diddy threatened to release X tapes on her if she didn't comply with his demands. Then, on Friday, Kid Cudi also testified that Capricorn Clark was the person who called him and told him that Diddy was in his crib after Diddy allegedly forced her from her home into the car and made her take a ride along to Kid Cudi's house. Now, why is this important? Because thus far in the trial, we've had a lot of witnesses take the stand that have testified to the fact that they witnessed Diddy being violent towards Cassie. But that only proves DV, which Diddy is not being charged with. However, Capricorn Clark's testimony is different because she's the first person who is going to allegedly give direct evidence that Diddy actually perpetrated a crime. Remember, circumstantial evidence is different from direct evidence. And for all y'all that don't know, circumstantial evidence is evidence that is indirect and requires inference to establish a fact. It suggests a fact based on the surrounding circumstances or events. For example, finding a suspect's fingerprints at a crime scene is circumstantial evidence that suggests that the person may have been involved in a crime. But once again, you have to make an inference, and sometimes inferences can leave room for doubt. And I know, somebody out there right now is like, "Source, remind me what an inference is again." Okay, so an inference is when you draw a conclusion or come to an opinion that is informed based on known facts or evidence, but you may have not seen what happened directly. For example, if you go to sleep and it's mad dry outside and then you wake up in the morning and everywhere outside is wet, you can infer that it rained while you were asleep. Now, did you see it rain? No, because you were snoozing. But it's safe to infer that it did rain because nobody on a block has a water hose that's strong enough to water the whole earth. But, like I said, Capricorn Clark's not giving us circumstantial evidence, she's giving us direct evidence, which is generally considered to be stronger than circumstantial evidence in a court of law because it provides clear proof of a fact. So, if Capricorn Clark does in fact get up on that stand and say that she knows for a fact that Diddy rolled up in Kid Cudi's house, why? Because she was sitting in the car and she watched that ninja roll up into his house, it's a wrap. Because not only does that statement prove directly that Diddy broke into Kid Cudi's house, which bolsters both Cassie and Kid Cudi's credibility, but it also provides enough circumstantial evidence for the jurors to infer, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that Diddy also blew up Kid Cudi's car. Now, if Capricorn Clark also says that Diddy roughed her up like Suge Knight suggested that he did, she also helps to do away with the defense's narrative that the violence within Diddy and Cassie's relationship was mutual because now the prosecutors can say, what's love got to do with it? Not only was Diddy harming Cassie, but he's also strong-armed all of these other women like Kerry Morgan and Capricorn Clark, who just so happened to be his employee at the time of the alleged act. Additionally, similar to Cassie and Kerry, Diddy also allegedly settled with Capricorn Clark out of court, which will contribute to showing a pattern that Diddy allegedly attacks people and then he pays them hush money to buy their silence. So, as it stands, we've seen a number of key witnesses take the stand, including Phil the escort, Cassie, Cassie's mom Miss Ventura, the Punisher, Kerry Morgan, Dawn Rashad, Dawn Hughes the psychologist, Special Agent Gerard Gannon, Diddy's assistant George Kaplan and his assistant David James, and Kid Cudi. But I believe that Capricorn Clark may be the biggest threat to Diddy's freedom out of them all, because she connects a lot of the dots that the jury's gonna need to render a verdict of guilty. Alright, so as is fair in all court cases, after the prosecution lays out their case against Diddy, Diddy's defense team is going to have their opportunity to rebut all of the testimonies that have been given thus far. And if he so chooses, he can even take the stand himself, which most attorneys would advise him not to do. But Diddy might have to, because for some reason I don't think that he really has a strong roster of witnesses that are going to testify on his behalf. As a matter of fact, I think that a lot of Diddy's witnesses are going to get up on that witness stand and look and sound a little something like this.
Mr. Sanchez, please raise your right hand. Do you swear to say the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So she said, could I say the truth? Hello, how you doing today?
Hello, Mr. Sanchez. What is your occupation?
I am an Uber driver in the Bronx. I drive the Uber. You know, I send deliveries to for people, you know, with the food. Sometimes I use EBT.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sanchez, do you remember doing a delivery on the night of September 1st?
Yeah, I went to a Moreno ese with the big lip, P. Diddy. Yeah, I took P. Diddy over there. I went over there to make a delivery with him. He was having a freak out. A party, let's say, for freak out. Yeah, I went there.
Okay. And do you remember delivering over 1,000 bottles of baby oil to Mr. Diddy's home?
Diablo, hell yeah, I was over there. I said to myself, espérate, why are these guys using a lot of oil? I thought, you know, because, you know, it was a lot of Morenos, a lot of African Americans, a lot of them guys, you know, all guys, and they bought a lot of baby oil. So I was like, well, they're gonna fry a lot of chicken or something here. I don't understand because it's not masola, it's baby oil. So, but a lot of guys were shiny and they had sparklets. They look like, you know, like the shoes from the disco.
Okay. Can you elaborate, please, what you witnessed?
But what do you mean elaborate? You know, mommy, I can't do that here. There's a judge right there. Elaborate. You know what that means? That means se no te la paja. You know, like.
Mr. Sanchez.
Oh yes.
Do you recall or do you remember?
I didn't call nobody.
Do you remember what you witnessed?
Oh, you want to see what I saw there? Oh yeah. I you know, he was in the other room, right? And the guy who opened the door was Rikeli.
Who?
Rikeli.
Can you spell that, please?
R. Kelly.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, he was there too, right? And then they had cameras and everything, and they had these guys, and Puff Daddy was in the back going, take that, and the other guy was going, oh, Oh, so I was like, yeah, maybe they're working out because there's a lot of big guys with, oil and sprinkles and everything, yeah.
Okay, Mr. Sanchez, can you please tell us how you were paid for this delivery?
Oh, that's easy. The guy was really nice, man. He gave me an EBT card with $2,000 on it. So me and Sophia, my wife Sophia, we went to Aldi's and C-Town and all that. We bought, we have plátanos 10 peso and all that stuff. He was really nice, man. And then he kept telling me, he kept going like this to me. I thought he was touching his lip. He was like, pero una bemba bien grande, so his finger was all the way up to here.
That's all, Your Honor. No further questions. Thank you.
Okay, hey, Joanna, I can go now because this is like that isn't this what they call Judy duty? No, I gotta come back. No, I don't gotta come back. Okay. No, because this job don't pay overtime. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Yo, y'all know I had to do it. It's Memorial Day weekend. Anyhow, as you know, Dame Dash and Suge Knight really don't agree on a lot of things, but one thing that they agree on now is that 1, they're both armchair psychologists, and 2, both of them believe that in order for P. Diddy to do what he did to Cassie, something had to happen to this ninja when he was young. Check out what Dame and Suge, who both graduated from Hood University, had to say.
Now, when I see a dude do that to a girl, I think that they must have got abused. And I feel that there must be some real trauma that happened in his life. Because in order for that to be normal to him, to me, it means he must have seen that in his life as a young man, or it was done to him. So I'm just curious to know what has been done to him where that could be considered as normal.
This analysis drawn up by Dame Dash is coherent with a previous analysis on Diddy made by Suge Knight.
Now, Suge, you said something early on that I want to get clarification for the audience. Suge, you said early on, you can't just look at Diddy in isolation. You said this was done to him. He learned from others, and it was done to him, and then he did to others. To me, that sounds like what I hear when people are talking about abusive situations, hurt people, that someone was abused, they wind up being a perpetrator. Is that what you're suggesting about Sean Combs, that he was abused and he now abuses?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right. I think he repeat what was done to him. And like I said, if you look at Russell Simmons, you know the truth. Andre Rail, you know the truth. Pride Davis, you know the truth. Jimmy Iovine, you know the truth. So there's not certain things that all of a sudden you got this. The industry is a quick business. It's been like that for a long time. And the casting couch is real, but it's for women and men.
Interesting. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that Suge and Dame need to just forget about hip-hop and go ahead and get their doctorates in psychology? Listen, let me know what you think about everything that we discussed in today's video. And while you're down there leaving a comment, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share this video with your friends. Hey yo, thanks for tuning in to The Source, your source for celebrity news. Peace.